see this big honking thing we got to use this year? It's like all taped together, yeah, because it's going to be live, like streamed like automatically.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah.
people can live stream?
Well, like right after, I guess. Yeah, right
Instead of
after.
having to like wait for it to load and...
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're going to get started. I appreciate you coming here the day before school starts. It's an opportunity for us to get together and kind of go over the nuts and bolts of things that kind of make the athletic department run smoothly. And I always give those that come in person tremendous amount of credit and not waiting and watching on the online stream later. But you have an opportunity at some different prizes and things that I'll break and won't talk straight through, and Sherry will raffle off and have a good time with it. But I want to go over some important changes, some updates, and just some of the basics of things that we've always done as well to get us ready. So just overview, we'll kind of go step by step through this, so I won't go through it right now, but I want to definitely, we use our media largely for our size of school, WeBoAthletics.com, our Twitter handle. We'll go through some of these graphics that we put on the website and all that stuff to try to promote. Our goal is to promote, the athletes and their accomplishments as much as possible. So, we really do a lot, and there'll be a lot in here today regarding Final Forms, our website, those different processes that we go through. At any point that you need to contact any of us, these are our email addresses, but obviously we spend a fair amount of time here in the evenings. You see any of us, feel free to stop in. My office is always open. If you call, I'll get back to you, get back to a phone call very quickly if you ever need anything. We're here for you and your student athletes. So with that said, I want to just quickly go over last year. I would think most would probably say, last year as a whole was one of the most successful athletic seasons in history. We had 2 state champions at the high school level. We've had 5 as a school. We had 2 last year. It's pretty good. So if we can keep going at that pace, we'll be in good shape. But sectional champions, we had numerous along with our conference. We're the second smallest school in the conference now, with Southmont dropping in enrollment. So what we do, and we'll talk a little bit about our strength and conditioning program, but what we do, as an entire school to compete at the upper echelon of the conference, really allows us to do that. So at the junior high level, we look at the junior high. Varsity coaches look at the junior high, obviously, as the future of the program. But, if the high school's succeeding, the junior high's doing what they're supposed to do, building numbers. We had a lot of success there as well. So, basically, this meeting is, for 6 through 12, we have the same rules, same accountability, same handbook, all that stuff. So, it's related to all of it across the board. But we're looking for a real successful year again. Obviously, we have a bunch of things going on in the school. We might get an opportunity to swim here again someday. I don't know. If you would go in the pool, it's impressive looking right now. It's just a hole in the ground. But we're getting a new pool, track, field turf, where we can use it for a lot of multi-purposes. We'll host the girls' sectional soccer tournament the next 2 years. We're going to host the girls basketball sectional, boys basketball sectional this year. We'll host the volleyball sectional next year. So one thing that's been prominent for me is, I want our student athletes to perform in sectionals at home at some point in their career if we are able to, facility-wise, and take great pride in showing off our facilities and what we have and what our community offers. So a lot going on here, but just keep note. I know we've put it out to the necessary parties, I think, but junior high football, with the turf the way it is, the Sheridan game will now be there, which we have it correct on your pocket schedules and everything. Currently, the varsity game on the 23rd is still here. You might look at it and think how, but we're making a run at it. We think we can still try to possibly make that happen. So, if not, we might just play on gravel. It'd be okay. Might give us an advantage somehow. So right now the 23rd is still here. All right. So, but a lot of great things last year, and we look forward to this year as well. One thing with the athletic department, just keeping in mind, it'll be kind of a theme here, is we really push different core values that I know I got into education, got into coaching, to try to teach. Obviously, we want to win, and we just went over the achievements of winning. But being a student athlete and being in extracurriculars in general is a privilege, and there are a lot of values that young people take from athletics that they can then apply to life. And that's what that's what our coaches are trying to do, is build those skills that will allow them to go out and be successful additions to the community that they live in. So we think bigger picture than just winning and losing. I know lots of times that becomes the focus for some on that specific game night or whatnot, but it's much broader than that. So we're going to cover topics like academics, because there's a reason that it's student athlete first, or student before athlete. And we want to go over those things and make sure we understand, as a parent group, guardians, as the athletes in general, that we think bigger than just on the field, the course, the mat, all of those. So go ahead. If you haven't got, I know Sherry was out there with all sports passes. We had 2 nights this summer where you could come in and purchase those. For the price, I think it's well worth it to come in and have that for your entire family. Family pass is $180, individuals are $80. It goes down from there. And one thing to keep in mind, and this will be a little bit of a shift, but due to us being a junior, senior high school and having multiple sports and multiple gyms going on at one time and multiple ticket takers, this year, I think this is a really good deal because, the prices are almost right where they've been. But we are going to, every sport event here is going to be the same price. So it's going to be $5 to get into an event, whether it's junior high, high school, freshman, whatever it is. And that allows us in ticket taking to not have to bother you quite as much from a volunteer perspective. We don't have to have 3 ticket takers at certain nights. We've had situations, you get into part of the school and you can just get into the main gym. So it's just going to be, whatever we have going on, one flat rate, no matter if it's 6th grade, 12th grade, varsity, whatever it is. So just keep that in mind, and for those, that will be a change and be a little different because we've had different prices for different levels. But that's going to help us across the board be a little bit more efficient with volunteers, with ticket taking, with all of the above. So I think with that, then that makes the sports passes well worth it. Weekly schedules, if you follow us on Twitter, it gets posted weekly, Sunday night, Monday morning, kind of comes out with the weekly schedule. We also sometimes post, a schedule like this. We use this internally a lot. But one thing, if you're good with smartphones and technology and you like apps, I don't have a lot of them, but if you were to go to Event Link, it's just Event Link. If you put it in the App Store, it pops up, and if you were to create an account, you can click on Western Boone, and it will give you the calendar of events. It basically links you up to our scheduling software, and then you could actually dump that into your Outlook or whatever calendar you have on your phone. So it's just Event Link, one word. If you put that in the App Store, it's free, and it might be another easy way, just technologically to have it at the touch of a button. You can always get it on the website. Yeah, we're always posting on Twitter, but we're trying to help you with as many ways as possible to have those things. So with that, WeBoAthletics.com is where we post everything junior high, high school wise. We have all of our coaches give us summaries, updates, articles about their events from the night before, and then by about 10 a.m. we have them posted on the website with pictures. Mr. Pearson will contact through Final Forms different sports and the parents of different sports. Just if anybody would be taking pictures and would send him pictures, then he uses those as like the fronts of the articles when we show you box out sports and the graphics that we make. Obviously the more pictures you take, the more opportunity you'd have for those kids to be on those graphics. So, we kind of rely on you at times, for those. So if we'd pop out, Luke, and go to the website. Many of you have been here before. But again, it looks like this. It maybe have a different, bigger picture depending on the event. Rachel Conyer was up there from last year with golf. But if you were to fall, winter, spring sports, is where you can get all the schedules. So if you just go to fall, all right, and you wanted to look up, boys cross country, varsity, okay, and then go to schedule. We'll put the rosters in too, but then it'll list the schedule, location. If you ever see that the location's off, contact us and let us know. That's done through our scheduling software company, but sometimes they get those mixed up. So, we definitely want those to always be right. So let us know. But those are updated and live daily. So you can also get the schedules there if you want. If you go to the More tab, this is pretty much wherever all the information you'd ever need. A good thing, again, is the top under calendar, athletic event schedule. It's another way to see what's going on. Okay, so like today, the 5th, you'd have to maybe be close to read that, but that says girls golf varsity Seeger Invitational. That's going on. So it will tell you, what's going on. You could click on the specific calendar that you want to see so that you don't see them all. You could just click on your student's sport and see it. So as you can see, trying to give you as many ways as possible to see it, to know what's going on. The Event Link app is good too. So the More tab, again, we'll have about everything you'd ever need. If you scroll down, Luke, to forms, the travel consent. Somebody will find it. Yeah. This right here is something that parents often need. Pop it up. We tell our coaches, it's up to their discretion, in regards to, like trips home, for instance, from away games. As a varsity coach, when I was a varsity coach, I felt like bus rides were extremely important, whether we won or lost, how we were able to come back and get ourselves refocused and, having, if we won, maybe it was a good time. If we lost, we're able to, maybe pull up certain kids and talk to them individually and motivate them and get them reset. So for me, my players were always riding back with me. Some varsity coaches allow kids to go home. They'll talk about that in their parent meetings. If they do that, you'll have to fill out a consent form each time and give it to them, and they have to have that in hand. Junior high sports, we definitely understand the timing and everything with them, that pretty much all those coaches allow kids to go, and they'll use these consent forms for that. But the high school coaches, it's at their discretion, and we support that on what they feel is best for their program, and they'll go over that. But you might very well likely need that form. That's how you access that when you'd want it. Yeah, so anything you'd ever want's on there, and we're going to go back to the PowerPoint, but it's a great tool for you to use. If you ever have any questions with it, let us know. Okay, we'll do team stores 3 times a year. We'll do it in the fall, winter, and spring. It'll open up most likely sometimes towards the end of the week. Next week, we'll send it out via Final Forms. We'll send it out on Twitter, on Facebook, all of that. It's online. It's how we do, like when we win championships, it's how we do it's the same way we did our football shirts, our girls' basketball shirts, all of that. You order online, it can be delivered to your house or it can be delivered to school. And we'll be doing that in the fall. We'll have it open for a couple weeks, and then it'll be a week or so, week, 10-day turnaround. And you'll have those items if you would want. And I know each sport sometimes does something similar as well. But athletically, that'll be going out mid to late week next week. Yeah, that sounded weird to say. Final forms, unless you're new at this point, you probably have heard of it. We did it last year, rolled it out, a lot of success. Got rid of the star card. You don't have to carry that around. Kids aren't losing that. It's been good for us. Basically, with the physical, we need page 2 and page 4. Page 2 is the doctor's part. Page 4 is the parent consent. That's the only paper form that we need. Everything else is done online on Final Forms. So WeBoAthletics.com, under the More tab, athletic participation registration is where you can see that. If you're new to it, you'd want to go to the parent playbook under forms, where it'll tell you how to create an account. If you've been there before, you already have your account created. You just have to log in, hit the blue registration icon for 1920, and register. So we're doing a lot of that right now. We're just doing that before we jumped in here with everybody, starting up. So first week practices are online under the calendar tab of the website. The first week of junior high practices with times, they're all there. Obviously, all the high school fall practices started today, or if in golf's case, they're already rolling and started Friday. But you can find all that on the website under the calendar tab as well. And then the coaches will have parent meetings, and they'll go over the more detailed schedule throughout the year. But we put out that first week. We did that through Harmony and through Final Forms as well. A couple things handbook-wise. And Sherry, if you want to pop up here soon, I think people are going to start going to sleep listening to me. So if you want to liven this place up with a little bit of, after I get through a couple things here, they're here for the free stuff, not my voice at all. I can really put people to sleep with this monotone, gravelly voice. A couple things though that are important for you to keep in mind. If you're going to participate, if an athlete's going to participate in an event or in a practice that night, they need to be at school by 10:45, unless it's an excused absence for one of those following reasons. But 10:45, is kind of the key number. It's right around fourth period. So just make sure that that number is kind of in your head. If for some reason you need a little rest or something the night before, or from a late evening or a test or something like that. So 10:45 is our time. Something else that is a change this year in our handbook is, in previous years, a code of conduct violation, which again, a student athlete, it's a privilege to be an athlete. We hold athletes to a high standard. We hold all students to a high standard. But, athletes, we take great pride in, they're wearing our logo, wearing our name, and how they're acting. So there's 5 rules in the code of conduct. And that's all in the handbook that you signed off on or will sign off on Final Forms. But like Rule 1 violation would be, alcohol, tobacco, vapes, all of those things. And when those violations occur, we have a suspension that comes into place. And it used to be 30 days. It was 30 days from the first, basically the infraction, or let's say it happened in the off season. It was 30 days and it started at the first day of practice. What we did was compiled a committee and decided that from a fairness perspective across the board, just a flat 30% of a regular season was more efficient. Sports have different start times. Their contests start differently. Girls golf, for instance, had one practice, and then they start today. If there was a person that had a Rule 1 violation in the summer, they're missing 30 days from Friday. The season's only 7 weeks long. They end up missing well over 50% of the season. If they had a violation in the winter and they're a track athlete, track starts practicing 3.5 weeks before their first event. So they end up only missing indoor conference, and that's it. So nobody can, there's not a fairness there. So 30% of a regular season, that's junior high on. Keep in mind that from 6th grade on, the violations add up. So if you get a violation in 6th grade, you cannot get another one, or it'll be a 365-day penalty. If you got a third one, it'd be a career-ending code of conduct violation. So that is a change, 30% of a regular season. So and it would carry over if you only got, like, it would happen towards the end of a season. It would carry over to the next season. So that'll be new this year for athletes as well. All right, Sherry, you ready to roll?
I'm ready to roll.
Okay, let's do it.
You're at 50 plus.
50 plus?
No.
Okay. What's that mean? Okay.
All right. Everybody has, all adults have a ticket, correct? Uh-oh. She's coming. Hurry, hurry, hurry.
Oh, man. Oh.
All right, talk about one more thing.
All right. What are you doing? You counting my ums? I'm going to stop that. I can stop that. Luke can't stop that. We count his ums every time he talks in public. I can stop that. So here we go. Academics. Again, student athlete. All right, so student first. What we want to hold to, we like to hold our varsity sports, junior high sports, all of them, to a high standard. So, when you look at some of these things that we break down, it leads to our Team Pride Award and some of the things that we offer as incentives. But we will be, I said, darn it. We talked to our coaches about having a 3.2 GPA. We talked to them about attendance, graduation rate, all of that stuff. So this is all in the handbook, but just know that your grades are getting checked regularly by our coaches, they're getting checked by our staff. We're trying to put your student athletes in a position to succeed off the fields in the classroom first, and that takes priority. So it leads us into, as a staff, we have, the Team Pride board out there, and our programs are trying to get on that with high GPAs, holding each other accountable. Where'd Sherry go? Right there. Okay. Okay, this is something that gets missed at times. So I know, we're in the middle of the raffle things going out. But if you have a student athlete that would have interest in playing collegiately, one thing that is important to do, even if there is nothing on the horizon, you don't know that that's even going to happen, but you think they might want to do that. Need to get them when they get into high school. So if it's junior high, you're not there yet. But get into high school, by the time they get to their sophomore year, they need to have gone to the guidance office and go see Mr. Pelly and go through the NCAA clearinghouse. Okay, NCAA clearinghouse is something that's needed that coaches at the collegiate level use to access certain things about the student part of the athlete. So if you have interest, students have interest in it, it does not hurt to go through it and to be signed up in it. We talk to our coaches about reminding athletes to do that, but with you all right here, with people who are going to watch the video, I want to say it now. Go to the guidance office. We usually have Mr. Pelly just because he's a coach in the program, in one of our programs. He kind of will help put you through the clearinghouse, all right? Good to go? Whatever you'd like, Sherry.
All right.
We're going with a T-shirt, Weebo.
From Athletic Boosters. yeah, he's got
I will read it if I can see it. 566855. Last three numbers, 855. Nothing.
855?
846. 846. Last three. There we go.
All right.
The excitement.
I know.
Man.
All right, for a mug from baseball. Or a tumbler, sorry, tumbler.
840. 840. More
How
excitement.
many more do you want?
We should make them jump
I told
up
you
or
everybody
something.
misses the sunglasses.
Okay. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
All right.
We'll go with the garden flag, from cheerleaders.
834. 834. 834.
Anybody wants a flag? 834? Did we find it?
Nope. Another one.
Oh,
8.
we'll give him the other one.
Here we go. 865. 865. Yeah, we got a verbal. That's good. That's the first one to speak. Very well done.
All right, you want to do
Okay.
more? You want to do
One
of
more.
these?
Yeah, let's do one of these. They'll like that. That'll get them excited. Okay. You want to tell them what it is, or?
This is a certificate to come into our office, and you get a free family athletic pass.
Oh,
As you know,
That's-
it's worth $180.
we should just, yeah, that's the two things they care about.
That's
Here we
the
go.
two things they care about.
Yep.
And sunglasses.
673. 673. Oh, there it is.
All right.
All right, good.
We'll clear
Good
those.
work.
I'm going to take this up to that other
Yep.
gentleman. You want to take that up to him? Flip this first.
Gonna trip.
Yes.
Okay, multi-sport, all right. Year 3 for me here. One thing that we implemented last year was a 3-sport patch, okay, at the high school level. And then at the junior high level, if you compete in 4 sports during the junior high career, you get your numerals for your jacket. But this is something we've really pushed, our athletes, is the way that we are successful is spreading across the board. I know you hear it, but, the specialization that exists out there does not help Western Boone. In no way does that help us athletically to specialize. So, we want kids being in as many things as they can be, and our numbers as high as they can be in every sport. All right, there's statistics out there that, we could throw at you, they're all over. But, if you were to watch, you've probably heard it before, but if you were to watch the NFL draft, 90% of those people that are drafted in the NFL, not to say that we're going to have a bunch of those, but 90% that are drafted in the NFL are multi-sport athletes when they're in high school. So we need that here, being, again, the second smallest school and tending that we compete up in the upper echelon of the conference. We do it off that a lot. All right, so 3-sport patch in high school, and then 4 sports or more in junior high. All right, these are the high school athletes last year that were part of the 3-sport patch. So again, these would be kids that you'd see, constantly participating for us, and we would put up there in the upper echelon of helping us be successful. So we'd like that number to keep growing. It's been about the same the last 2 years. That's a pretty good start, and we want to keep pushing that. So help us do that by promoting multiple sport participation. We do the Team Pride Award. I've mentioned that before, but there's 5 different pillars that have to be met by high school sports. And depending on basically their place in the conference. If they're in the top 3 in the conference, we also give it to them if they win a sectional. So that's kind of the participation on the field. Respect for opponents and officials. The team will not receive a coach, player, or fan ejection. Okay, keep that in mind, all right? Not to sit here and just harp, y'all are adults, but you get ejected from one of your kids' events, the program doesn't get on the board, okay? You might say, oh, I won't do that. Well, we've seen it, okay? So sportsmanship is big. We push that, all right? The IHSA has implemented a new rule. We already had it, but the IHSA has now implemented the new rule that if you're a fan and you're ejected from a game, you're suspended the next game. That didn't matter for us because we already did that, all right? But it gets heated at times. I will say I've been a coach. I'm starting to be a parent in it now with my kids being 5 and 7. I don't have any interest in being an official or an umpire or anything like that. No interest, okay? And we need officials and umpires. So if we think as parents we can do it, go get registered and do it, because we definitely have the average official is 58 years old in this state, okay? Because nobody wants to do it, because really think about it, why would they want to at times? Okay, so we've got to think about our actions as administrators, athletes, parents, on not putting those guys or girls through the ringer, all right, at events. But it can hurt your teams as well with something like the Team Pride Award, all right? So not trying to get on the soapbox, make a big deal of it, but it is a big deal in regards to we want to go to Tri-West or Lebanon or North Montgomery or wherever, and we want to, we want to handle ourselves with class. All right, so help us do that from a parent perspective. It'll trickle down. All right, go back to that. We also have our teams invest in the community. To be on this board, they have to do something substantial, for the community, from a service perspective, all right? We also want them to mentor their incoming freshmen, so when you have junior high kids that are going to go into high school, they have some sort of, brother or big sister type of mentoring program, team program, a lot of them do, where they have captains amongst teams, and they compete within their program against one another. So we do a lot of that, and then excellence in education. To be on this board, that 3.2 GPA that we want our teams to be at, they have to meet to get on here. So in the past 2 years, the bold ones there, boys tennis, girls cross country, volleyball, girls basketball, girls golf. I don't know why I put girls again, but those ones have done it twice consecutively, all right, which is impressive, all right? But, it can be taken away from you, with one instance. So keep that in mind. Okay. I'm back to the ums again. That's all right. Sorry. The Breakfast Club, something we just completed, but our strength conditioning program, again, I think it's second to none as far as our facilities go. 2A school, you walk into our weight room, we have 3 gyms, okay? Schools our size don't have these kind of facilities, okay? I've been at 4A schools that don't have them, okay? So take great pride in them, and our kids take great pride in participating in the summer. We want to continue to grow these numbers. The girls' numbers have increased in the past couple years. There's a lot of girls participating. Okay, there's 60 or 70 girls participating. They're not all getting 18 of 21. So we've really, just last week we had a coaches meeting where we continued to push to the girls' programs, getting, instead of them coming to 6 or 8 of them, they start coming to 18 of 21, in the summer. But it bleeds into the school year. Okay, we have a strength conditioning teacher that just does that. We have 7 class periods of strength conditioning. So as an athlete, you have every opportunity to be in that. We support our athletes being in those programs. I really believe that it is a strong reason, I know I've mentioned it on a few occasions, as to what multi-sport athletes and this is what helps us be as successful as we are, all right? These are, those members. We like to support them. We get them a shirt. We do a few things for them. It's a lot of dedication, but it pays off, and we will see that pay off this year with these athletes. Okay, team tryouts are kind of in the middle of that. Just keep in mind, everybody should get a minimum of 2 practices as a tryout before there would be any cuts if needed. If a team has a large number and they're looking to cut, coaches have been informed they should definitely be communicating that to parents. And if the time comes for any of that, parents deserve, the right to have that face-to-face conversation, about either needs for improvement, why that happened, all of the above on that. So, but as we're in the middle of it right now, we have, a two practice limit at minimum before that occurs. All right. Social media, it's big. Okay, we use it a lot athletically. I don't have it personally, but we use it athletically a ton, and I know most students have it. And I just like to say, charge you as parents, guardians, grandparents, anybody with any influence and control over social media. I don't know too many of the parents in here whose kids actually pay for their cell phone. So you have all of the control, okay? And I would use that. We don't want to see, our student athletes getting on there and having spats with Lebanon kids, having spats with North Montgomery or Crawfordsville or, anybody. We want to take the high road. We don't, and then it goes much deeper from a personal perspective, what they might be putting on social media. So hopefully you have a gauge on that, and are teaching them that I don't know any business or any employer that is now not using that as a vetting tool. Colleges are using it as a vetting tool. It's very competitive to get into certain colleges and certain programs and things that your kids want to be in, and they're using these as tools. So you all know that, but just keep in mind as we're in the daily grind of it, that we want to hold them to a high standard and try to help them understand that. Final forms, we use it in the athletic department as our primary and only use, I guess not only, but our primary use of communication to parents. We have the website and we have Twitter and all that, but y'all can't be expected to always be on Twitter or be on the website. If you have your email correct in Final Forms, then you're getting all the schedule updates. You're getting anything that's coming from the athletic department through that. Okay, last year we put in place, coaches were supposed to make that their primary form of communication. It was year 1. Some of them really jumped on board with that. Those that did understood how easy it was. Those that didn't, they got to talking to last week about how they're going to. Okay, this is the primary form. Okay, if they have other forms, great, but you should be getting stuff through Final Forms, through your email, from your coaches. Athletes, obviously, at times they have to get information quicker to them. They have group me's, reminds, all of that stuff. But from a parent perspective, Final Forms. If we have coaches that aren't doing that, I would like to know that, okay, because this is what we've gone to. It works very well. You can mass communicate, and it works extremely well for us in the athletic department. I know it would for coaches, and they can do all kinds of things with it if they want from an attendance perspective and everything. So this is where your athletic information should come from. We send out a few things on Final Forms early in the year at different points because we know that, some people don't have Final Forms yet, but then this becomes it. Okay, parent communication, the role of a parent, basically, one thing that's important from a life skill perspective is, again, for students to be able to speak to adults, for students to be able to have the uncomfortable conversation or the conversation they may feel is uncomfortable. So if your student athlete has any issue that they feel needs to be addressed with the coach, would like for that to be done through them first in an attempt to learn those tacts and to learn those values and to be able to do that. So that's always going to be, the first question if something comes to me is, has the coach been contacted? Has the player or athlete talked to the coach? If that's happened, then the next question is going to be, have you as a parent talked to the coach? Okay, now some at times will say, well, I don't want to do that because I fear that it may negatively impact my kid and their playing time and this and that. Okay, that's not something that we can use as far as our coaches have been informed, and we would not have coaches or hire coaches that are going to do that. Okay, so we don't believe in that. We don't think that that's going to occur. If it does, we will deal with it, but we don't hire coaches that are going to do that. So they should be able to have an adult conversation, with your student athlete and then with you. If there would need to be any mediating from there, then obviously, you can go through the channels, and we can do that. But each coach will talk about in their parent meeting, their expectations on how that goes. Most of them, 24-hour rule after games, when it's not heated, all of that stuff. But they'll go through all that. But again, for me, it's about, I want my kids to do that because I don't want my, I spend it into all kinds of things, but I don't want my wife to have to be making my son's dentist appointments when he's 22 years old, because he's afraid to make a phone call or talk to an adult because all he's ever known is, his parents doing it for him. So, it's opportunities like this where they learn to do that. So if you need help with it, I'll get you to the right channels and assist you with that. Okay, sportsmanship is something, obviously I've mentioned it a few times with officials and all that, but we take great pride in it from an athlete and parent perspective, and we can always be better. But, last year, the IHSA gives a sportsmanship score for certain things, and, we were able to reach that score along with do some programs and some things that put us in a position with our athletic ambassadors and a sportsmanship statement reading that we do to get us an IHSA, sportsmanship banner. We should be in position to get that again this fall for last year. And, that's something that only about 30 or 40 schools get in the whole state, out of 300 and something schools. So we try to, and we can always be better at that. Are we perfect at it? No. But we strive for that. We'll talk about the athletic ambassadors here in a minute. But we're always trying to be better at that. So, if you can help with, again, just those things for yourself and again, for your son or daughter as well, on sportsmanship and how to act, then we greatly appreciate that. But this is something that this Champions of Character banner that we take great pride in getting. Okay, 2 years ago, last year was the first year, we put together an athletic ambassador program. You think of those as kind of the face of the athletic program. Okay, junior high kids, we're getting to the point where we have a lot of kids asking about this. How do we get into it? Okay, we picked 14 athletes. Basically, our coaches nominate kids. We kind of reach out to them, and then we give all those kids applications, and they have to go through an application process, and then they have to get recommendations from teachers and this whole process. And then we choose 14 of them, and we take them to the IHSA Leadership Conference. We take them to Sagamore Conference Sportsmanship Summit. We take them to different community service opportunities 6 times a year. They go to the elementaries and they team up with third grade classrooms, and they teach 6 pillars of character, respect, accountability, all of these things that we want our athletes to be about. They teach those lessons. They make the lessons. They meet on Tuesday mornings. We go through the lessons. They make them. They have a hand in all of that. Thursdays of that week, they go over there. It's really neat. It's the same group. Lots of times they're going back to the same elementary, maybe even the same third grade teacher they had. It's been neat. So they read our sportsmanship statements at the beginning of athletic events. They help us. We're going to host a lot of things this year, right, with girls and boys basketball, with soccer. They all have shirts. They'll be a part of that. They'll be welcoming fans. They'll be welcoming officials. You'll see them around. So this is something that we want junior high athletes and incoming high school athletes to strive to want to want to do. We're pretty proud of the Athletic Ambassador program. Okay, this is the sportsmanship statement that they read, and you'll hear it if you go to events. You'll hear them read this. Go ahead. Okay, one of my last things is the letter jackets. Basically, we have a lot of support from our booster club, and Jennifer Bale's going to talk in a minute about the booster club, but we couldn't do what we do and couldn't be able to outfit our athletes how we outfit them and put them in the positions to succeed without the booster club. And a lot of that stems from you as parents getting involved in volunteering, your time as ticket takers, concession workers, all of that. But what the boosters do is help purchase jackets for the athletic department, and then basically you come in once your athlete gets one varsity letter, they become eligible to purchase a jacket at $125 from the booster club. And we have different sizes, so when it's time to do that, you just come to the athletic department, you see Sherry or Luke or myself, try one on, and we can get that going. But basically the requirement is one varsity letter. That's where it's at now. No more point system or anything. We're a couple years removed from that. So that's how letter jackets go. Okay, Mrs. Taylor's not here, but after school, especially this is big for junior high, after school, the cafeteria is open where there's certain food available at a cost, and then they can stay in the cafeteria and they're supervised in there for later practices. But, you know, Mrs. Taylor has the cafeteria offer these items, and so if they would ever need extra money or anything for after school, if their practices tend to start later or before a game, before they leave, this is available for them in the cafeteria. Okay, I'm done for now, all right? Would you like to give a few more things away real quick? And then Courtney's going to speak extremely quickly, right? It's going to be great. No, you're good. Okay.
A coach football helmet from the football department.
If you're a Bears fan or something, don't take it, okay? Mr. Miller, I don't know if he's here, but okay. 837. 837. Do you like the Colts? Nope. Okay. Just take it to, Andrew Luck's not playing. He's just standing on the sidelines, so maybe you can get him to sign it because he's never going to play again. Grand Park.
Yard sign from the boosters.
706.
Oh, she's in the hallway right there. She's standing right there. She didn't have her glasses. She asked me to read it.
706. Okay, you got that one? Okay. Hat. Adidas hat. Star on it.
707.
707. Whoever came with her.
Oh, back outside. Oh. Any more? Another one?
Yeah. Okay. Flag.
It's the large pole, the flag.
839.
From cheerleaders.
839.
Want to keep going? All of them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Another shirt from the football team.
875. 875. There you go. I like the enthusiasm.
This is your baseball cap.
All right, this is one of the team hats from baseball. Fitted, large. It's good. 845. 845. Right there. Great.
This is for
Got a mug there.
tumbler from baseball.
876. 876.
Okay, last one.
Okay, family pastime. value of $180. Oh boy. 566. Oh, nope. 868. Right there.
868. All right.
Okay, we're going to have Courtney, our athletic trainer. She covers junior high and high school for Witham. She's going to talk to you about just a few things from a communication perspective. A lot of you've signed off on the concussion, cardiac, we have physicals, all that stuff. You'd be green on final forms. But, impact testing, all that stuff that she does, she kind of run through real quick. And then we'll go through a few more things and be out of here, all right?
I think I know most of you. Some of you are going to be new to me new to you. But like he said, this will be just short and sweet. So you may get an email here soon. I'm going to be doing impact testing with freshmen and juniors for their sport. So you may get an email from me about it. I'm trying to do it before their practice because we kind of need to do it. It's a little more accurate before exercise rather than after. So hopefully we're not holding any kids over this year. On communication, I will always communicate with you by a phone call if your kid has been injured or concussion, definitely, and then kind of explain to you the next steps and what we're going to do. If it's just kind of a chronic thing, I may end up finding you at the next event and talking about it, because usually that's what happens, and it kind of goes like that. You can always feel free to call me, email me, anytime. I am going to apologize. I think it only happened twice this year, and I felt terrible about it, where I sent a kid home in a boot, and they got to their parent before I could because I had a room full of kids. Sometimes that happens before I get to call you and tell you why your kid's in a boot. But typically I will try to get to you before the kid does. So if that happens, I'm going to apologize in advance. I believe that's pretty much it. Everybody kind of knows, the things they signed off on are pretty self-explanatory. So. Perfect. All right.
Dr. Kraft is our team doctor. He's tremendous at being visible. He's at a good amount of our high school events. He'll be at our Friday night football games. On Mondays, he comes in after school, does injury checks. So if you do have an injury and you're being treated by Courtney, then Dr. Kraft will do those injury checks weekly. It's very easy to get hold of as well. But this is her contact information. But Witham's been a great partner for us these couple of years, and Courtney and Dr. Kraft do a real good job taking care of our athletes. So with that, we are going to talk a little bit about athletic circle etiquette. Okay, so this is where it gets fun. And we have somebody who is extremely passionate about it, in Jennifer Bales, okay, who can probably talk about it better than I can. But we've made this PowerPoint. I'll stand here as well, and we can go through it.
All right. So anybody who knows me knows this is something that I've laughed about for years. My oldest child is a senior in college, and we've been dealing with this athletic circle since he was in junior high, I guess. That's the athletic circle. Yes. So there are a couple things that we want to point out about the athletic circle. When you approach the circle, we would like for you, please, to line up down the driveway. The loading zone, which we also call the hot zone in my family, we want to avoid parking and leaving your car, especially, in that loading zone. There are signs that say, please stay in line. When you see your child exit the building, you may pull forward. Those are new last year. So what we want you to do, like I said a moment ago, is please line up down the driveway and wait. And if you are going to park up into that area, if you see your child come out, pull up, let them load, and then scoot on out of there. If you leave your car there and wait for your child to exit the building. Nobody else that's in the line can see when their child exits the building, especially when it's dark outside. So please do not park in your car in the circle. You may pull forward, pick up your child, and then leave, please, slowly. And when you do leave, now you guys are laughing because you have seen this. You know what we're talking about. So, and then when you do exit, please keep in mind that there could be somebody pulling back out of line to go pick up their kids. So when you pull out, please be mindful that, that it is a two-way street, and please watch your speed. You like my graphics, don't you? I had big plans of using a drone and video and like live action with cars, and I just ran out of time. Next year. Again, please do not park. I don't know how many times I can say it. Please do not park your car in the athletic circle and especially leave, because when the buses come in to pick up our kids or to drop our kids off, any bus driver can tell you they cannot maneuver safely in that circle, and it's just no good. There is no such thing as a second circle. You're laughing because you know. So what happens is we wait in our line, we pull up, we get our kids, and as we're loading up, it's a hot pickup, and then there's sometimes a second row, an inner circle. There's no such thing as an inner circle. That's dangerous, because as whoever's parked closer to the building, as they're trying to leave and this trying to leave, it's just dangerous. And we want to avoid that, please, at all costs. There is no such thing as perpendicular parking. I know, well, there isn't. It happens. So anyway, we've seen this, I've seen this, and so they pull forward, and they're sitting facing the doors, and then they have to back up to get out, and that is unsafe too, because our precious children are coming and going from the school. I blacked them out.
No license plate.
There are no license plates visible. So in the top picture, obvious. Hey, and I did not take all of these. I took one of them. Somebody else took the other two. Oh, can we go back? Yeah. So anyway, in the top picture, obviously, if you're sitting, this picture was taken in that very first spot down the driveway. And obviously, if you're sitting there, you can't see the kids come out of the building. And it's different if you just are rolling up, they're picking up, and you're getting out of there. But if you're just parked there reading a book, waiting on your child to come out, nobody else behind you can see. The second picture, and the top one too, the two circles are dangerous. And in that bottom picture, in that red truck, I don't know who it is, but there's nobody sitting in that truck. So anyway, please be cautious. We wanted to make it lighthearted and fun and silly and whatnot, but it really is, it is a problem. Many people follow the rules, and not that we even have like the athletic circle police or anything like that, but if we can all just kind of do our part and just be mindful of the other people in the circle and try not to park in two circles and don't park perpendicularly. So
Really, in a nutshell, it's line up along the road, and when you see your student, drive up, get them, drive out. So you shouldn't be parking up there. And the amount of times that I leave or exit, or there's just so many times there's somebody in the circle. So felt like this is a good place, and with the video, everybody's got to see it. So it's a good time to go over it. But it can be a problem, and there are signs there, but we just need everybody kind of pulling the rope the same way with it to help us. So with that, talk a little bit about the Booster Club and some of the new incentives and things that we have.
all righty. So I am not really the athletic circle police. I am Jen Bales, and I'm the president of the Athletic Boosters. This is my 10th year on the board and my 3rd year as the president. So our board consists of our executive board of vice president, secretary, treasurer, president, and Mr. Dexter. We have 5 on our executive board for voting purposes. And then Shelley Miller is our membership chair, along with Courtney Dillon. Kylene Gott and I build that athletic program book. And then each grade level has I don't know why my lines are, anyway. Each grade level has a caller, and each grade level has a closer. And the caller's job is to get our volunteers. They are the ones who you will get emails from asking you to work in the concession stand or asking you to work in a ticket booth. The closer's job is that during their designated week, any event here at the school that requires the concession stand to be open, the closer comes in at the end of the night, cleans the place up, counts the money, restocks, and that is what she does. And we do it that way so that our volunteers don't have to be there really late into the evening. And so our concessions volunteers, you come in, you work your shift, and you leave. And we try to make it as easy on our volunteers as possible because we operate 100% on volunteers. And if we don't have the volunteers, we can't give the money that we give, we can't do what we do. So, and along with our executive board and our board members, we have a parent representative from every single high school sport. And we do that because we wanted everyone to feel that their team was represented on our board, because we do give money to the athletic department, and it is important that the people that are sitting on our board understand that we're not just shuffling money to one specific sport. So we have full representation, with the exception of girls golf. If we have anybody who is a girls golf parent who would like to sit in that position, please see me afterwards. So anyway, we have all of the parent sports representatives. I have to put my glasses on for that. We exist to support all athletes across all sports here at Western Boone. And we do that by raising money. We pay for every single award, patch, trophy, pin, certificate, anything that your child earns, we buy for your child at no cost. We purchase letter jackets in bulk at our cost and give that savings to you. If you were to go to the Athlete in Lafayette, was where we buy our jackets. If you were to walk in off the street and purchase the letter jacket that we have, it's going to cost you over $200. Because we buy them in quantity, we turn around and sell them to you. It is exactly what we pay for them for. So last year, not including letter jackets, but just in the awards, trophies, pins, patches, we had a very successful year across the board in all high school sports and junior high. We spent a little over $6,800 on those awards. We also award 2 $750 scholarships this year. Jet McClaskey and Quentin Hicks both earned scholarships. When we do our scholarship, it is a lottery drawing. All you have to do is fill out an application and give it to us, and names go in the lottery wheel, and we just draw out a name of a guy and we draw out a name of a girl. It has to be the easiest scholarship application going. We operate 3 concession stands, and we seek out the volunteers to staff those concession stands and all the ticket booths. We operate the main indoor concession stand, we operate the soccer concession stand, and the baseball, softball concession stand. We publish 3 athletic program books a year, and we give monetary support to the athletic department. Last year, in total, we gave over $14,000 to athletics. And so, how do we make our money? Oh, wait, really quick. Oh, go away. Almost $23,000 Boosters was able to give back to the athletes at this school in form of either goods, such as patches and pens and certificates, or money that we give to the athletic department. And how do we raise our money? We raise our money by a membership drive. We have our membership forms set up in the cafeteria. We're just past Sherry's tables. You can pick up a form. We do membership at all different levels, red, white, blue, and star level, from $10 to anything you want to give. When you join membership, it doesn't mean you have to come to meetings or anything like that. It just basically means that you're a sponsor. And at those different sponsorship levels in our winter and our spring books, your name will be listed as a sponsor. We can't do it in the fall athletic program book because we're still taking in memberships. We do a couple fundraising dinners throughout the year. We sell snow cones. We do things like that. So by supporting us in that, we sell merchandise, bracelets, T-shirts, and these lovely signs that we have a ton of. We would really like for you to come buy one. They're $10 each. And we throw in the steak. We do 50-50 raffles and concession stand profits. The concession stand is where we make our money. It is it's our biggest money maker. And so when we ask for volunteers, that's where we need you. We need you to help us take tickets because we take tickets, but we need help in the concession stand. And it's the same across anywhere you go. It's always hard to get volunteers. And so we have been working on some things that I'm going to show you in just in a minute. But how can you help? First of all, join our membership. Second of all, buy a sign. Fundraiser dinners, and then, like I just said a moment ago, volunteer in the concession stand and in the ticket booths. Last year, we needed about 300 volunteers through concession stand and ticket takers, and we staffed them. We got them covered with about 125 parents. And so you can see that we're having the same basic group of parents do the majority of the work. And I understand. People work second shift, work third shift, have little kids. I completely understand. But if you get an email from your grade level caller and you can't help that week because for whatever reason, email her back and say, I can't work this week, but if you've got something coming up next weekend, I'm available, because odds are the next grade level caller might need your help. This year we're going to need probably close to 355 volunteers. And so when those emails come across asking for help, please open the link, go to the Sign Up Genius link that will look like that in your email. And when you open it, this is what it's going to look like. Sign Up Genius is free. It's free for us to use. It's free for parents to use. It's a wonderful system because it will send you a reminder email. It's fantastic. So about a month before your grade levels week, you should get an email from your caller. And you go through, you look at the dates, you see what you can do, which ones you can work, and you sign up. We get notified that it's filled, and then we go from there. New this year. Each high school sport is going to staff one night in the concession stand. Your coaches already know this. When they do, it will be one of our larger nights where we need 5 to 6 volunteers, and your coach will have his own Sign Up Genius link, and they know about this. Our first one is in the middle of September, so you should be, whichever sport it is, I don't remember off the top of my head which one it is, but after you staff it for that night, the Athletic Boosters is going to write a check for $100, and it goes directly to that team's extracurricular activities account. So it's a way for teams to make some money. We did this with the baseball backers last spring to kind of see how it worked, and the baseball backers earned like $350 into their account for helping us staff that concession stand. Workers can be parents, coaches, players. We just need for at least 2 of them to be adults, especially on those busier nights. Really, the more adults, the better, but students are able to work in it. And also, if, we talk about the high school teams, but if you are affiliated with a club of any kind that is affiliated with this corporation and you want an opportunity to earn some money, this is pretty easy. If it's a night that we just need 2, 3, or 4 workers and your club covers it, your club earns $50 for that night. And if it's a night that we need 5 or 6 workers and your club covers it, it's $100. And it's pretty great for just a couple hours worth of work. So, as I mentioned earlier, it's a chronic problem that any school, anybody ever, to find volunteers. And so we have come up, after lots of talking and coming up with different things and different ways, we want to give you something for working. I'm sure you remember those $3 little cards that we've used forever. I have fed my family many a nights at the concession stand on those little $3 thank you coupons. Well, we've upped it a little bit. And so each time a parent volunteers to take tickets, you earn a $10 voucher. And each time you work in the concession stand outside of your team night, you earn a $10 voucher. These vouchers can be used in the concession stand. They can be used to purchase spiritware and merchandise from the athletic boosters, such as a $10 sign. And the letter jackets, that's another thing. We mentioned our letter jackets are $125. So say you've worked twice and you have two $10 vouchers, you can apply that towards your child's letter jacket. Athletic sports passes, a maximum of $50. So when you have these vouchers next year and it's time to get your athletic passes, you bring them to the office and you turn them in, and they are as good as money. Athletic spotlight ads, concession stands, each voucher. The other piece I want to mention is if you are a parent of a senior and you are a part of our membership by New Year's Eve, your child is eligible for our scholarship. Now, if you have vouchers that you aren't going to use, maybe you don't have a younger child, or even if you do have a younger child and you just want to use this voucher, when your child applies for the scholarship, their name goes in the drawing, that raffle drawing that I was telling you about for the scholarship. If you turn in your vouchers, every voucher that you turn in, their name goes in the drawing one more time. So we wanted to do something for the parents who have kids that are seniors. You know, what am I going to do with all these vouchers? I don't have any more kids in school, kind of thing. So that makes them, it increases their chances of winning the scholarship. And then just a little plug about this spotlight ad. Our ads were due technically last Friday, but we have decided to go ahead and extend it another week. Ads are coming in very, very quickly right now, and that's fantastic. So if you want to put a spotlight ad in our athletic program book, the form is available on the website. You just download it, and Kylene and I, we are very happy to help you build an ad if you aren't savvy and you don't want to build your own. Send us the pictures, what you want it to say, and we'll build one for you. And so I think that's it. We do have a Twitter account. We try to have our parent representatives send us pictures, and we like to tweet those out and just to wish everybody luck and things like that. So please follow us on Twitter.
All right. So again, the incentives, those are all new, but I think it should be a tremendous, advantage for, if you work a few times, being able to apply that money. We hope that increases some involvement. I mentioned the graphics, and these are examples from last year, things that we put on the website and on Twitter from our different events. So again, a lot of these pictures might be taken by like me in the stands or at games, but if the more we get from parents, again, Mr. Pearson will contact each sport. If you're willing to sign up for that, then we can get those different pictures to use. But we're able to do, live score updates. We're able to do little mini videos. We can do all conference stuff. Again, just always searching for ways to publicize our athletes more, put them out there. We want to use it a little bit, at the junior high level as well this year, after rolling it out last year at the high school. So you'll see these things go out, but you can add to it with pictures and help us out and make that a way that we continue to publicize, our athletes. Again, this video will be will be on the website, and you guys don't have to view it again, but if you would ever need any of the contacts of any of our head coaches, or if you want to take a picture of it now, or, again, they're going to be contacting you through Final Forms, but you should get these contacts when they have their parent meetings. But, these are emails for our coaches, and then the next slide would be different Twitter or Instagram accounts that these programs use that are operated by their coaches or captains of their teams. So again, if you would need to find that, I don't expect you to memorize that or look at it, but this video will be posted tonight on the website, and you can always reference it. So I know it's a little warm in here. I appreciate you hanging in with us. Make sure that you sign one of those forms out there for having attended, and take your schedule card for either junior high or high school when you leave. All right, but that's all we have, and thanks for coming.